back to Michelle's garden. I've been trying to shoot a little bit of video of things blowing in the wind here. Our winds are just terrible. It's been blowing for days. I'll set my coffee down right here. It's been blowing for days, and we've had wind gusts 20-30 miles an hour. I'm hoping that I can get a little bit of video for you today and the sound will be okay, but the wind's just been horrible today. And I guess what I want to do is a little short video to you about weather and gardening and all the struggles that we have with this crazy weather. I'm sure everybody's experiencing some crazy weather. I'm here in western North Carolina in Zone 7B, and we dealt with rain, wind, temperatures up and down, and it's affected our gardening season. My gardening season is usually 203 days. Here it is May the 3rd, and I'm still waiting to put out more tomato plants. I don't have any cucumbers planted. My green beans, I did put them in early, but they're still, they're growing good, but I believe this cool, chilly weather is affecting everything. It's like 60 degrees right now. The wind's blowing, so it's making it colder. My eyes are watering. Well, it's just ugly. I'm trying to go in here in the back to get cover from some of it. Oh my goodness. Terrible, terrible. Hopefully the light will be good enough in here. But, I just wonder, is everybody struggling with their garden this year like we are? I just feel like I needed to speak to beginner gardeners. I know that a lot of experienced gardeners, they've probably been through this before, but normally I've got my garden planted and I'm just tending to everything and waiting for my harvest. I'm struggling with tomato plants. I had like 300 tomato plants that I was growing to sell, and a lot of those have been destroyed by weather. I have a few left, and they're in containers that they're outgrowing. They need to go in the ground. They need to be sold. I'll show you some of the tomatoes I still have right here in this building. These right here that are still in the pots, they need to be watered today. I've been bringing them in whenever we have torrential downpours. Now all of these are plugs that I got from Haas Tools. They've been in these trays probably 3 weeks now, 3 or 4 weeks now, probably about 4 weeks. And they're doing pretty good, but they do need to be sold. But then there's people that probably aren't putting them in the ground yet. But my first, this is my 4th year of gardening. My first year was a total flop. In the area that I'm gardening in right now, I didn't have my garden set up like I do now. I just did the old-fashioned plowing and tilling and planting in the ground like that, and I was so inexperienced, and the weeds took over and I couldn't keep up with it, and it was very discouraging. I hardly got a harvest that year. And the second year I set up what I have now, and the second year I had such an abundant harvest of so many things. I gave food away. I had food that went to waste because I had so much. Then last year, again, I had an abundant harvest, a beautiful garden. And so this is my first year battling the weather like I am right now. And so this is all new to me as a gardener. And if you're just starting out gardening and you're experiencing the same thing, if you've put stuff out because you thought it was time and the weather, killed it or whatever, don't give up. Don't give up, keep going, because I've already been through that so far this season, and I'm just, going to keep going. I'm going to keep going until I get food to preserve. We all want that fresh, beautiful tomato sandwich for this summer, and I'm going to get that. I might not get as many tomatoes as I want, but I'm going to get tomatoes. I've had to replant tomatoes in the house. I still have some that I'm planting. Sorry guys, I'm trying to sit my coffee down so I can get my hair out of my face. Woo. If you got long hair, don't come outside in the wind. Put it up. But yeah, I've had to redo tomato plants in the house under the grow lights, and they'll be late going in the ground, but I know I'll get tomato plants. So my plan today was, I've got strawberry plants waiting to go in the ground. I've got citrus trees waiting to go in the ground. We're going to have a low 42 tonight. We've gone so up and down with the temperatures at night. We've had some 30s, then we go back in the 40s, the 50s, and so I haven't wanted to put my trees out because I want them to have that temperature that stays at a certain temperature for them to root really well, you know, and not have to be thrown into shock by some 30-something degree weather. But I had built a raised bed for my strawberries. I had done a video on that, and my strawberries desperately need to go into the dirt. I've got them in bowls. I'll show you that here in a few minutes. But I got a pile of compost so I can fill those raised beds, and I also went and got a whole bunch of wood that was around some trees at my uncle's house that the branches had dropped, and so I got those branches to put in the raised beds to take up some of the space so it wouldn't take as much compost. So this is my compost pile over here. I get that brought in from a company called Sigmund's. That's a few miles from us. I usually get a delivery twice a year in the spring and the fall, and I'll usually use that to freshen up some of my rows, and I haven't done that this year. I just fertilized my rows and planted in what I have, and then I'm going to use that pile. So I've got to go from there all the way down on the other side of these muscadines. Let me get my coffee and we'll walk down there. Hopefully I won't get tangled up in my hair. I'll show you my raised beds waiting to be filled. Our muscadines are growing just fine. There's our blueberry bushes, they're growing good. That's our neighbor's house right there. But here's my raised beds over here. I've got 2 of them built. There you can see I've got all the sticks inside of there. So I've got to get some compost in there. That's where my strawberries are going. That's a 4x8 bed. Here's the 16x4, 4x16. Got all that wood filled up in there. So I got to get some dirt in there and get my strawberries in here. I had to get my hair put up. I'm getting tangled up in my hair. But I'm in the garden, guys. I'll show you a few things that is growing good, and that would be the lettuce. Check out this lettuce. Here's my beets. They're doing good. Here's my spinach and lettuce. Lettuce, more lettuce. My green stalk is doing good. It's got a bunch of lettuce in it. I've been eating off of this lettuce for days. I could eat 3 salads a day and it'd still have plenty. Those beets are doing good. The carrots are growing. The onions are remarkable. They're doing great. There's the potatoes. Potatoes are doing awesome. There's the green beans, pinto beans. I mean, they're growing. I'd like for them to be more. This is some English peas. They're just kind of hanging in there. My corn that I planted, I may have to re-sow the corn. You know, there's a few here or there that's coming up, but not a whole lot. The radishes, I've already eaten from the radishes. They're doing awesome. The asparagus is growing like crazy. More onions. Here's some more peas that are growing. Tomato plants that are hanging in there. There's one that the wind blew over. There's more tomato plants hanging in there. There's some right in there. Kind of hard to see, but they're there. So, what do you say we take a walk down here and I'll show you the strawberry plants. I ordered my strawberry plants from Urban Farmer. Depending on where your zone is at, you know, I don't know if you can get strawberry plants in, but I think Urban Farmer has a chart that you can look at on their website that'll tell you your zone and everything to plant. Mine are everbearing strawberries. I think they're supposed to produce all year. So here's some of my tomato plants that are outgrowing the pots. I had them in the 2-inch pots. I put them up in these red Solo cups. The wind is tormenting them. They're all tangled up, but they've all got to be picked up. They've got to be watered today. That's my peppers. These poor little nasturtiums, they need some water today. More tomato plants. See how the wind is just knocking them over. So here's my strawberry plants. They've already got strawberries on them. You see I got them sitting in these bowls. So when I got these were like just little twigs. And I mixed up some seaweed solution and some water in these bowls, put them in there, and they came to life. And this is what they look like. So they just need to go in the ground. Well, I had to come back in the house, guys. The wind is just awful. Awful. It's gotten up to like 23-mile-an-hour gust, and it's supposed to get up to 40, so I'm not sure what all I'm going to get done outside today, other than watering. What needs to be watered out there, I showed you some of my tomato plants. They are, like I said, outgrowing their pots. See the baby toy in the back there? I'm sitting in my room with the grow lights. I got pepper plants that need to go out, nasturtiums that need to be planted, tomato plants that need to be sold. I've had loss this year so far as gardening. You know, we're all getting into gardening, I think, mostly because we want to sustain our families. We've seen what can happen in the grocery store, and we're hoping that we can preserve and put away and sustain ourselves through the year. So if you are a first-time gardener and you've already been discouraged, please don't let it discourage you. I think a lot of us are battling this weather this year. So, you know, I've got a greenhouse and we're waiting for the wind to settle down, for the rain to settle down, for, you know, just the right condition to get the plastic on so I can grow in the greenhouse. And I think that's going to be the way of the future. If you can possibly afford a greenhouse, that would be awesome, to try to grow some food all year long. So many people are into preserving and canning now, and trying to learn to preserve and can just about anything and everything. I've seen some people on Facebook, on a group that I follow, that's water bath canning only. People are preserving eggs and milk and whole meals in a jar. It's just amazing. It's wonderful, really. You know, I want to dive more into that. I don't want to preserve eggs, but I want to get chickens. You know, I want to be able to have some animals so that we can get food that way. That's a little bit further down the road for us, but that's, you know, what I'm looking for in my future. If there's some way, if you just have a raised bed in your backyard, and that's all you have. If you can find a way in the cooler temperatures to maybe put plastic over it and make you like a miniature greenhouse to grow something all year long, that's a good idea too. So I just want to encourage everybody out there, if you're struggling with the weather and getting your food in the ground or keeping things from dying that you've already got in the ground, just hang in there and keep going. And I'm hoping everybody has a great garden season and a wonderful harvest this year. So keep hanging out with us, guys, and we'll keep growing together and learning together. Hope you all have an awesome day today. See you next time.